Okay, so here we are, Granada, something, fall of Muslim Spain, yeah. Moving into 1482. And we got special rules in 1482, which is Bobadil's revolt starts up here. He can only operate in the same space as this one leader, Ali al-Attar. Of course, there's only 3 Muslim leaders left on the board, so I guess if the choices to surrender were different, you could lose Bobadil instead somehow. Or we got a problem coming up though. In 1484, Amir Ali is going to be gone. The Moors are going to be suffering from a large number of missing leaders, I think. Made a roll for those units that were damaged. 1 or 2 on each side recovered. There weren't that many damaged ones left. So now we have one tricky thing, which is when does the turn start? There's 11 to 20 Moorish castle points controlled, so looks like it starts in round 4. A little further along than it did in the last round. And now we start with the Spanish turns. More turn. And try to see what we can do here. So the Spaniards moved forward with Alcantara and took Velez Rubio. The Moors have gathered together and attacked Ferdinand at Baza, and both sides, both players, to tell you the truth, aren't too thrilled with the game. Nor am I. They decided to stake it all on this, and right now we're in the midst of the second turn of a rather massive battle. This is going to be a major victory for whoever wins it, no matter what. Because there was infantry involved and enough forces and leaders and But this is really the most massive battle I've seen. We've already taken significant losses. The last round was 4 from each side, and it's continuing. Neither side wants to give in. They need to win this. And whoever walks away from this, if they walk away with a viable force, or if it's the Spaniards and they wipe out the Moors because they have more reserves in the background, this is going to be a big bonus. While the Spaniards were wiped out, there's still a decent number of Moorish troops on the board. I think the Moors are actually going to try to extend the season because they think they've got the advantage at this point. Whether or not that's a good idea, I don't know. We'll see. But they want to capture more castles. And they eliminated the Spanish forces. Now, as to the Spanish leaders, they take casualties, and I don't know if I explained this before. We roll a die, and because, let's see, Ferdinand rolls a 6, so he escapes basically on a 1 through 7. You escape. Higher than that, you don't. If you're in a siege, however, there's a +5 to the die roll, and only someone whose forces are entirely wiped out is affected by this. And 8, that means Cabra has been killed. He's out of the game. Bang. All over. Ferdinand, however, does get to withdraw a space, and he's now up at Huescar. He's got a problem if he gets attacked, so he's got to get out of there or something. Meanwhile, here we have, Amir Ali, who now gets to attack the city, and he's going to do that. I'll take care of that, and then we roll for continuation of the turn because there's a chance that it can end. We're still not low enough on the turn order where it wouldn't. Spanish don't want to take a chance with Ferdinand, so they took their movement to just move him and get him out of risk. He's too valuable to lose. The Moors went forward and took Huescar, and they still outnumber what Ferdinand's got, and they know it. They know that not much was created down here, and they also know that they probably have the edge with Bobadil, but they're not as positive of that because he's not a great leader either. So they're marching forward, and Ferdinand's going to have to fall back in front of them. Ferdinand did not get an action. He rolled on the table and wasn't able to get a campaign. The Moors got 2. Bobadil took Ronda. Big deal there. However, Amir Ali made an attack on Velez Rubio, where Ferdinand is. He took refuge in the fort, and here's where we are in the battle right now. Ferdinand's down to 3 units. There was no surprise by the Cav. The Cav has been hit hard. They actually lost one there. Ali's got to make his decision here. Does he want to try to keep fighting? He's got the ground advantage, so he can take castles kind of at will, whereas maybe Ferdinand cannot. But can he beat Ferdinand here? Ferdinand's going to have dice at, what, 6, 4, and 5. And those are doubled. So that's 6 dice. He outnumbers him for dice. He almost outnumbers him for hit points. So Ali's going to withdraw from combat. This would be a major victory for Ferdinand, except Ali had no infantry present. So we have the first defensive victory, actually. And nobody's done anything in reserve yet. Just hasn't seemed like there's been a great reason. There were times where forces were close to each other, but the rolls didn't come out well enough. Alright, well, let's see if it's the end of the turn. Still, I think, is a 9 turn. I gotta check. And it goes on to the next turn. Alright. Bobadil made an attack up here on the Spanish player's turn, actually, due to the command table giving activations to the Moors. Calatrava managed to get an activation as well and followed him up. Actually, not Calatrava. Whoever's with Calatrava. Guzman. And defeated him. And it was a major victory, which moved the marker actually to further into the campaign season with the thought that the Spanish want to end this turn. This year is not going well for them. Amir Ali besieged Oria, and Santiago was defeated then by Bobadil on his turn, but he managed to escape. He just lost a unit, probably about equal costs. The turns continued, and now we're on the 8th campaign turn. Not sure what happens after the 10th. Does it just sit there? One would think so, because why would there be a roll? Well, I'll have to look that up. I'm trying to, but it's not really the most pleasant thing. Wait. Yeah. Wait. No, somewhere inside the winter lull rules, of course. You know, the thing you need to reach when you get this. Spanish player and controller, the result is equal to or greater than. Well, I'm guessing it just stays frozen there and can continue longer. It's not specified, of course. The game's not very good at that. Well, Santiago managed to gather together all the forces here. There aren't a lot left on either side. We can see the stacks that we have for both sides. The armies have been pretty much wiped out. And he managed to defeat Bobadil. Bobadil fled down to where he can gather forces. Amir Ali marched and took the rest of the cities. The only thing he can't take is the one Ferdinand's holed up in. He just didn't have the troops to handle that, as we saw before, and he's lost some since then in his attacks. No successful surprise attacks by the Cav. Now we get to what? Withdrawals. Count the castles. There are only 4 castles controlled at this point, which is going to be a problem. Going to put the marker on the 5 box, and well, it leaves us at that same -1 +2. The Moors don't get an advantage if they're doing really, really well. Of course, it makes it harder to make them not be doing really well. And what, next year, I think, is where we start seeing the Ottomans? No, not until 86, down at the bottom of the track. Okay. Alright, well, I'll do some repositioning, see what I get, and make some rolls. So we moved to the 1483 turn, and because of the time, The campaign season, the number of castles indicate that the campaign season will be 5 to begin with, whatever that means. In the recovery and the reinforcements, one of the things we saw was that Amir Ali got all his cav largely recovered. Bobadil also got some recovered cav. Well, that's not recovered. That's fresh cav. And we see the reinforcements that the Spaniards got. Both sides have recovered significantly. It's just a question of what it means. So if the Moors can get the jump with Amir Ali, they may be able to take Ferdinand out. Maybe not. He hasn't been able to really recover anything, but they may not realize that. On the other hand, the forces over here, Calatrava and Santiago already had a significant advantage over Bobadil. But if Bobadil gets a surprise attack inside Granada, he can't get it outside Granada in Spain. Once he goes into Spain, he no longer has that advantage. Well, he may get the jump and get an advantage on attacking the Spaniards. It's the 1483 turn, and I've jumped a few actions through. Basically, Ferdinand's got Amir Ali besieged. Ali can't come out without fighting Ferdinand. Ferdinand's stronger. However, Ferdinand does not actually want to assault Ali. That would be tremendously foolhardy with a force of his size. Santiago has gathered together the rest of the forces and taken Alora. And he's probably stronger than Bobadil. But if Bobadil can, I think he'll make an attack. In fact, I think he's going to make that attack. In fact, why didn't he? Not quite sure. Yeah, I think Bobadil's going to make a... Oh, because I only did Ferdinand's turn. Okay, so we're actually still back here. And Bobadil's going to make his attack. We're going to see if he can get a surprise attack off. He does. That's huge. Okay, I'll come back after this battle, but that's a big advantage for Bobadil. So Bobadil's attack was a success. It didn't seem like it was going to be. That first initial surprise attack didn't really work too well. The second round of battle was kind of mixed, but the third round he got a huge advantage on, and he drove Santiago back to Alberga. He gets to try to take a city, which he'll do. He doesn't have a lot of fun. He doesn't want to fight it, because he won't have surprise on this. And there aren't a lot of things to take right now. So he's going to wait. There was not an end of turn. Ferdinand's still besieging the Emir. And Santiago probably doesn't have enough forces. Well, he certainly doesn't have enough forces to come out. He was outnumbered by Bobadil and got away. At this point, the question is, can Bobadil do anything of value? I'm not sure. Yeah, let's see. Well, Bobadil took his chance at a surprise attack, failed, lost a cav, but ended up taking Alora. And we're at the end of the round. And at this point, Ferdinand has to withdraw his forces. Where to, I'm not sure yet. He himself could pull back into Oria, but there's no real point to that. So I think he's just gonna... This is his best location. He's gonna pull his army back there. I can pull the leaders back, and then I'll be rolling for recovery and reinforcements. And then we go into 1484, which is when Amir Ali starts checking his death. On a 6 through 10, he's removed at the beginning of what? Each year. So we're moving into 1484. I kind of lied to you, which is par for the course for me. The rolls come during the withdrawal phase, which is at the end of the year. So Ali is safe until the end of this turn. This is the first turn where you'd have to roll at the end, not the beginning. Okay, what do we have for forces? Well, The Spaniards actually did quite well in terms of building forces up. Actually, so many that they took some over here at Antiquan, which they didn't get any Calatrava forces, so he can come pick them up. Perhaps, we'll see. Otherwise, though, the Moors didn't do badly. They have a lot of bonuses and everything. It's just the Spaniards did much, much better than could have been assumed. So they may be able to actually gain some ground this time. But they're really kind of foundering so far in this game. They've only gotten 2 castles, and Guzman was left behind at 1. He's kind of at risk to being captured there. Alright, I'll load this one up, and we'll start, 1484 is coming up.